GamesWeasel.com. Review.
Publisher Square Enix have done a good job of resurrecting their Final Fantasy games on the DS, and no wonder, as the machine's just the right format to re-release the role-playing games that take tens of hours to play. Time being precious, it's now possible to play them when you would otherwise be staring at the back of someone's head on the bus. Final Fantasy IV is the latest to get the touchscreen treatment, and this time they've pulled out all the stops. Now you may know the game as a 2D top-down RPG if you've played it on the SNES, the Game Boy Advance or even on the PlayStation 1, but on the DS they brought the game to life in full 3D, and they've translated all the text properly, so it all makes perfect sense this time around. You play as the Dark Knight Cecil. Quite how you're supposed to scare anyone with that name, I'm not sure. Ooh, look out, Cecil's coming, hide! Anyway, you begin the game leading a team called the Red Wings and doing your king's bidding. Right at the start though, you suspect the king's motives and go rogue, forming your own party of travellers and misfits as you travel the land, go on quests, and explore the many dungeons. Of course, random battles play a big part in the game, and when you do get ambushed, the action's turn-based, but also with a time limit, so you'd better quickly scroll through the menus to choose melee attacks, magic or items, or you could soon end up dead. You can also augment characters with magic and transfer these abilities between party members. That's very useful if you've played the game before on an older system and you do know which one of your characters is about to sod off with all your powerful spells. I will warn you though, this game is extremely tough and only really for hardcore role players. You will die frequently if you're not quite sure what you're doing, if you don't prepare your team, if you don't explore caves thoroughly and equip your characters with the correct armour and weapons. Also, make sure you do save often, especially before going into those caves or dungeons. If Final Fantasy is your thing and you'd like to play this all over again in full 3D and hear some very good voice acting to boot, it's an essential purchase. Final Fantasy IV gets an excellent 8 out of 10.
You've been watching a review from Games Weasel. If you want to get the show each week, which includes video game reviews, news, previews, competitions and special features, then head over to GamesWeasel.com for our video podcast, Games Weasel TV.
GamesWeasel.com.